Thank you very much, Pat. Yeah, I want to thank you very much for having me today. This is a whole new normal, doing everything on Zoom. I know we transferred a lot of the support groups that I have on Zoom as well, and so it's been quite an adjustment. Working from home for the last couple of months or so. But anyways, having said that, is some of the programs from Office on Aging have uh, also been, there's been some changes to them because they've been affected by the COVID. So, for example, social engagement and community activity, of course, that has diminished somewhat, but we still have some resources that we can offer you. So, just a quick background on Office on Aging services. Office on Aging has about 24. I think that we've added maybe close to 27 now programs to help seniors and so forth. Everything from advocacy, coordination, outreach, community education, counseling, decision support, healthy lifestyle wellness programs, social engagements, community, like I mentioned earlier, community activities, and care coordination. We have a 1-800 number, 510-2020, which is kind of like the one-stop shop in the very beginning to find out what the client's needs are, and then funnel them to the proper program as well. If Office on Aging does not have is not able to meet their needs, the highly trained HelpLink operator on that end will go ahead and try to find the resources for you as well. Um, a lot of this stuff has been now changed over through phone or Zoom. Like I mentioned earlier, some of the outreach has been done that way, the community education. For example, my program, Care Pathways, has gone that way as well. Um, Senior employment has changed, has been affected. Also, retired senior volunteer program, even though, I mean, you've seen the pantries, a lot of our volunteers used to, be involved in those or are involved in those still. But, as far as the details, it's our 60 plus is, of course, the most affected population at the moment with with the COVID. So you have to be real careful with that. Um, Healthy lifestyles and wellness programs. These used to be in the senior centers, everything from Fit After 50 to the HOP program, bingo size. Although nutrition and meal services are still there, so I would recommend, if you know of someone or if you can use them yourself, like Meals on Wheels. I'm sure you've heard about Meals on Wheels. Uh, in the past month or so, there's been a new program, and I'm not sure if you've seen it on TV. It's called the Great Plates program, uh, which some of the local restaurants will prepare 3 meals a day for a senior that is homebound. So that criteria is if the person's not able to cook their own food or doesn't have anyone, through that program, we will have somebody from a contracted restaurant will go over and drop, some of the hot plate, for them 3 times a day. There are also, they can get you in touch with other programs that are as well. I think Mom's Meals, a program called Mom's Meals. And there are also grocery delivery programs and things like that. So Office on Aging has kind of adapted to what's happening right now, to help the senior. Um, so we do have care coordination and case management as well. So these are various programs providing short-term, long-term medical case management, family caregiver support programs, and other support and services to help coordinate care for older and disabled adults. So I always say, give Office on Aging a call and ask for case management if you're running into some issues, and so we can assess the situation and so forth. Of course, I mentioned HelpLink, which is our own train individuals, I call them operators, for information and assistance that can help get you in touch with some community resources, or options counseling, any education, abuse education, elder abuse education, prevention training, and or even utility assistance is another one too. I mentioned social engagements. Of course, a lot of these have been affected by the COVID, but nutrition and meal services are still there. So either pick up and go, and also delivery, like Meals on Wheels. So that's a very important program. And of course, I think HICAP, health insurance counseling and advocacy program, could still counsel over the phone as well. And all this information is on the Office on Aging website. So I would recommend you going into the Office on Aging website. And if you have any questions, call the 1-800-510-2020, which is also included in the flyers that I sent over to Priscilla as well. There are also other resources on the website as well. So I would highly recommend you go in there. All right, so one of the programs that we're doing now over the phone, and this is not over the phone, but also through Zoom, but this is my program. I'm a program specialist too for the program called Care Pathways. And Care Pathways is a series, 11 series. We're doing 11 series right now, other than 12, because we've had to adapt to what's happening. And we're doing them through Zoom. And I'll just go ahead and talk a little bit. I'll bring up some statistics real quick, and then I'll explain a little bit about the program too, as well. And the information, Priscilla has it, and you can also find it on the Office on Aging website. So, all right, so, our population 65 and older, of course, is growing, right? It's probably tripled or quadrupled since 2000. And Riverside County is, California is home to the largest number of older adults in the county, in the country. And of course, 85 plus is the fastest growing population segment. Riverside County is one of the largest county in California, and is the fastest growing county in terms of population. And the population is growing more ethnically diverse. 33% of the disabled population are over 65 years old, and 36% of seniors report having a disability. So 78% of adults living in the community and in need of long-term care depend on family and friends as their only source of help. So 3 in 10 U.S. households report at least one person providing unpaid care as a family caregiver. 70% of adults living in the community and in need of long-term care depend on a family member or friend as a source of help. It is estimated that 250,000 children and young adults between ages 8 and 18 provide help to someone with Alzheimer's disease or another dementia. So research shows that family members who provide help, to loved ones with chronic or disabling conditions are themselves at risk. Emotional, mental, and physical problems arise from complex caregiving situations. So caregivers experience social isolation, loneliness, depression, anxiety, guilt, fatigue, pain, cardiovascular disease, metabolic disease, unemployment, and of course other financial issues. One study found that 1 in 10 caregivers report that caregiving has caused their physical health to get worse. So it is important to begin some planning, and I'm sure you are here, and I may be preaching to the choir, because since all of you are involved, with the Alzheimer's support groups and Alzheimer's Coachella Valley, and Alzheimer's Association, and so forth. But it is important to understand and you're probably maybe a little bit ahead of the game, but not to wait till there's a crisis. So it is important to plan. Okay, and start a conversation and form a team, find out where you can get your resources, learn to ask for help, or learn to accept help as well. And so no one should try to do this alone. It can be very difficult. So again, it is always best to plan ahead and then respond to a crisis. So make a plan, find support, and you've probably found it in here as well. We found that 40% to 70% of family caregivers have clinically significant symptoms of depression. Although caregiving does not cause depression, is the caregivers often sacrifice their own physical and emotional needs, and the resulting feelings of anger, anxiety, sadness, isolation, exhaustion, and guilt can lead to depression. 16% of caregivers feel emotionally strained, and 26% say taking care of the care recipient, your loved one, is hard on them emotionally. Okay, so Care Pathways project, it addresses prevention and early intervention. Now, I get sometimes people that come to my groups and they already are kind of beyond burnout sometimes, So, it is important, it's better to start whatever stage you are at in your caregiving journey. So my program is directed to family caregivers who face challenges managing their caregiving responsibilities, either for a friend or a loved one, 60 years of age or older. One of the nice things about my program, and although right now it might be a little bit difficult, and some people are kind of apprehensive of having somebody else come in to take care of their loved ones. And this is what we do. We offer respite assistance, which means having a contracted agency come in and take care of your loved one while you go to the sessions. So the way we've kind of adapted to that is that, we'll have somebody go to to the home and assist caring for your loved one while you're in another room during the a Care Pathways program, and hopefully you will not be disturbed while you're on the meetings, which can be a little bit of a challenge. As you know, and you probably experienced during your meetings, sometimes it's inevitable. All right, so it's a series of 11 workshops. It's 2-hour classes designed to offer both education and support. The way we break it down is the first hour is educational, and we talked about everything from signs of stress, stress reduction techniques, emotional health, and dealing with some of these difficult mixed emotions. And some of the emotions that I brought up a little earlier ago, everything from resentment, anger, guilt, sadness, and understand what's happening, and to find a new perception. Taking charge of your health is another topic that we talk about. We certainly talk about dementia, legal issues, and preventing burnout as well. So again, the program is broken in half. First hour is educational. The second hour is a support group. In my groups, I certainly like people to be engaged. So, it's okay if you can jump in with a question, or maybe talk about how you can relate to the material, and and others sometimes join in, and I find that to be very beneficial. It seems to work for me. We do have other, we do have other program specialists like me and in other areas of the county. And so they have their own style, but basically the material is the same. And we've changed the material a little, here and there, and try to adapt it as well. So I think this is what I have so far for you. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and let me know.
All right, thank you, Guillermo. I'm gonna switch myself back to gallery view. Is there anybody, if you'd like to take yourself off mute, or you can use the chat. Okay, Jack, let me take you.
So now I've got a question.
Yeah, if he
Jack,
could
go
back
ahead.
up just a little bit so that I could see his lips, it would be a great help. There's a
Okay.
bar down at the bottom of the screen that is where his lips are at, and I can't read his lips.
There you go. That looks better. Thanks, Guillermo.
Yeah,
Diane?
sorry about that.
Yes.
No problem.
Yeah, my question is, okay, when is the next class and where is it at?
All right. So as far as being there physically, that's pretty easy. You're probably going to be in your own home. So
Okay, that's right. Forgot.
so it is. We're going to be starting a new session this July.
Okay.
I think we're doing about 4 of them. Monday evening, I believe. Tuesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, and Thursday morning. Now, Priscilla has the material, and she can go ahead and email it to you. There is the number for you to call and register there too, and all the information will be there. Explaining if you need respite and things like that. I do want to add that I also have ongoing support groups, and this is what we call aftercare. Most of them are by folks that have gone through the program and they still want to continue meeting. We certainly we want to encourage people after the program is over to join a support group. Not necessarily my support groups that I offer, which we call aftercare, but wherever they may feel comfortable. So we do, I do provide them Alzheimer's Association, Alzheimer's Coachella Valley numbers. It's not Stroke Recovery Center anymore. It's the Neurovitality Center, and any other forms of support that they can find wherever they may feel comfortable. So I do have 3 of those ongoing support groups, and by means anybody is welcome to. You don't have to have gone through the class as well. It's less formal. It's more of a support group. The Care Pathways class is, like I mentioned, it is educational and also with some support. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
For people with limited incomes, they can't afford a Kaleo Bay or something like that. What options do they have for home care?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, that's a tough one. And I get that all the time in my caregiver support groups. Well, one of the options is if the person is, if we're talking about financial, if they fit that criteria to qualify for Medi-Cal, there would be some help there. Medi-Cal.
Too much for Medicare,
Yeah.
Medi-Cal, but don't have enough for care.
Yeah.
What can they do?
Yeah, well, see, then that's pretty much what a lot of people fall into. Certainly, probably, I'm going to be falling into that category too. Like I mentioned earlier, Office on Aging has case management, in which, and this is, I tell caregivers this all the time, call Office on Aging and ask for case management. you know, there is a waiting list and so forth. So the goal is to get a social worker to go into your home and see what the needs are, and then they'll try to help you with that to keep your loved one, you know, living at home or helping you out as long as possible. So I would go that route, is call the Office on Aging and ask for care management. There are a few other programs where if one doesn't work, there might be, I think there's two or three others, like Access Program or the MSSP program. They might be able to assist with that. So it's better to try and than not. So I would go that route.
Okay, thank you.
Guillermo, the care pathways, you say it's an 11-week course. If someone can't commit to every single week, is it still okay to participate?
Yeah, we definitely want folks to attend every single one of those sessions. That's what we find, that they'll benefit greatly if they attend all of them. Now, I understand that, it's like they say, life happens, and so sometimes, the person cannot attend. So we require, if the person needs to make up the classes later on, they can do that. So the next round of sessions, they can take those sessions in which they miss and redo them. In order to get we do give you a certificate at the very end. And in order to get a certificate and consider you a graduate, you'd have to complete eight sessions or more out of the 11.
All right, and the respite care that you mentioned, do they need to qualify for that, or how do they apply for that?
So the way you qualify is you have to be a caregiver. That's all. You have to be caring for someone, and you can say, you know what, Guillermo, it's impossible for me to leave my loved one alone and attend a meeting at the same time. So we can help you with that. And it's like I mentioned earlier, sometimes people are okay with that. Sometimes they're still a little bit skeptical about having somebody coming in. And right now we find it that with the COVID going around, not everyone is comfortable having somebody else come in, although some of our caregivers have taken advantage of the respite, and they're very pleased with what some of these agencies have done, like coming in with gloves and the masks and all that.
Well, that's great. That is good to hear.
At no cost to you, so and it's free.
And it looks like your next trip will start July 6th.
Yes, I think July 6th. I can't recall whether that's a Monday. I'm sorry.
It is. That's a Monday. Yeah, you've got Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That is a lot of opportunity. That's fantastic.
Yes. Please do call and sign up, because they're going to be filling up, and I think we're going to be taking about 10 people per session. We want it to be beneficial for everyone, so I think 10 people should be okay. Please do remember, it's 11 sessions, and then afterwards, of course, like I always say, we still urge you to continue with ongoing support as well.
Well, and the beauty of doing it online now is they can be wherever and still participate in the class. So
Yeah, that's
traveling or going to another house, you can still join in.
Yeah, or in your car, like Diane mentioned earlier that she was going to her car. So,
Well, that's great. Yeah, so thank you. Are there any more questions from anybody out there? And I'll send out these handouts to everybody here who's on this meeting today.
Please do and sign up. I would sign up. I think we have a week and a half to go. So please.
How long have you? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Diane. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, how long have you been doing these classes? I know it's been a long time.
Well, after I left, Alzheimer's, I went. That was probably about 7 years ago. So I've been doing this program for about 7 years ago. For 7 years, I mean. And, I really like it because, I do see changes as the program, as the weeks progress and so forth. I do see some improvement from some of the caregivers, and you know the way we give you a little questionnaire before, as soon as you come in, and then we'll give you another questionnaire on your way out, and then we kind of compare the differences and see what improvement, as far as stress and so forth. Oh, and then and then we follow up in case. And I understand there's a lot of things that can happen. In 11 weeks, things can change. We also have a counseling component, and that is the other thing about this program, which I didn't mention. But if the caregiver needs a little extra, and the group is not we add one-on-one counseling with mental health therapist, with a therapist or counselor. County counselor. Now, they're screening through that. They will go through that, and they will help you with that, and or help you find other resources. So if we don't see any improvements and so forth, we will follow up with that too.
Well, that is a great resource.
Guillermo, one more time, could you give us the website address?
The website, well, I always Google it. I just go straight to Office on Aging.
Oh, okay.
County of Riverside Office on Aging, and it'll pop up there. And
Okay.
so, yeah, but and it'll have all the programs that are happening right now due to the pandemic too, and the ones that have kind of like they're not doing right now. So it's an interesting time. But yes.
How long are the classes?
Classes, well, each class is 2 hours long.
2 hours, okay.
I mentioned first hour is educational. We will go through a PowerPoint presentation with you, and then we'll have some time to share and talk and see how everything's going. Some of the challenges, going that you've gone through the week, and this is what I really like is with the support.
Thank you.
Just for everyone's reference, that website is rcaging.org, O-R-G.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Thanks, Priscilla.
You're welcome. All right. Well, Guillermo, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope y'all can take advantage of that program. Here at ACV, we do have a caregiver education class coming up Thursday, June 25th at 5:30 on managing dementia-related behavior. That's with Edwina Dirk. So just email me here, priscilla@cvalzheimers.org if you'd like to sign up. And Pat is bringing back the conversations class next month, July 6th and 13th. And again, just email me if you'd like to sign up for that. That's at 10 o'clock in the morning, those 2 Mondays, July 6th and 13th. And Guillermo, stay safe. We'll look forward to seeing you back again.
Great. It was great seeing you guys, and great seeing you, Pat, Diane, and Pam.
Thanks, Guillermo.
Yeah, thank you.